Strongman, current resident at Mind Voltage Institute. Thank you for selecting this video on taking good advantage of your second childhood in your older years. Before I continue, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, take a moment right now to do it. Now is your chance. That way you can also activate the notification bell feature and be apprised of our new uploads here at Mind Voltage Institute. Immediately below your media player window, you will see the thumb up icon. Go ahead and click on that to instantly and easily share the joy of this channel with others. Just below that in the video description area, you will see donation by PayPal information. Please make a note of that. Now, how to get best out of your so-called second childhood. What are we talking about in the first place, anyway? Usually when we talk about somebody who seems to be experiencing his or her second childhood, it doesn't have a good connotation. It can, but usually it doesn't. Usually it brings up ideas of oncoming dementia, oncoming results of Alzheimer's disease. Well, I'm not talking about that. There is that. There are those things, yes, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about, let me give you an example from my own life. When I was a teenager, in my late teens, I had just started my first year at a community college. I was 17 years old. I lived with my father. I didn't have to pay rent. And college was paid for. It was very low cost. I didn't have to worry about that. I had an automobile that I used. It belonged to my father. I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't work. I didn't have to. I went to college in the mornings, about a half hour away, and I would come home and I would do my homework. And I would usually do my homework sitting on my bedroom floor. The rest of the time, most of the rest of the time, I engaged in studies in Zen, Indian philosophy, Taoism. I was getting familiar with those things, putting a lot of time into coming to understand them. And I was doing a lot of calisthenics in my bedroom, calisthenic exercises, isometric types of exercises, and stretching exercises, as well as yoga asanas. I was meditating. I was very physically fit. I was mentally stable. I was doing these things, but I noticed that to do them thoroughly, the way that they should be done, it was taking me darn near all day. Filled up my time, a lot of it. So, I wanted to keep doing these things. But I figured, and I figured correctly, that sooner or later, I wasn't going to have time for all of them. And as time went on, my ability to attend to each one of those things attenuated, diminished. So my practice of them became less thorough, and then one by one they all sort of also just dropped away. Those things that I had done and wanted to keep doing. because, oh, and martial arts also. Basic, just martial arts was another thing that I worked all together. I was practicing things like pantomime. I went to pantomime classes and also juggling. I was doing juggling of daggers, things, you know. Okay. They all slipped away. And I reached a point in my life when I barely remembered any of that. But now, they're coming back. The things of my youth. I now have time again. And it has taken some while since I've had the time for them to actually come back to the surface of my desires and intents and motivations, goals, actions. But they have come back, a lot of them. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm taking advantage of it. And I'm realizing that my ability to do so, my capacity to do so, my ability to actually carry through with it, with these affairs, is greater than I anticipated it would be. When the time has now come, I can engage in those activities with just a little bit of getting back into things, you know, systematically and knowledgeably now, of course, working my way back in to these things being a part of my daily activities. It was not as difficult. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. And I've noticed once again in life that my body remembers. So when this happens for you, well, let's say you're younger now, right? You're younger, you haven't come to this point in your life when such a thing is even relevant to talk about for you, or for you to consider. Yeah, you know, with respect to your actual age. Say it's earlier in your life, I want you to be aware of this progression of affairs, this evolution of affairs through life that I'm talking about, that I'm experiencing. And I'm sure that somebody could say, I'm returning to my second childhood. I'm showing signs of being in my second childhood, but there's no connotation there. It's not pointing to anything, right, that has to do with the onset of dementia or Alzheimer's disease. This is not that. That's what I said earlier, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about something to be embraced. Those things can come back, especially if you plan for them to come back, if you intend for them to come back, if you never consider them having totally slipped away, and that they will still be there when it comes time for you to recognize that they are, and it comes time for you to actually put them back into action. That urge will come. When you are open to it, especially. I did not know this would occur, but it's still happening for me on its own. I want you to be aware of that. I mean, you wouldn't want such things to come back around later in your life and you ignore them, right? Or you just don't, you fail to recognize it. Or you think it's something bad. Or you just don't want to bring up the past. No, some of these things, they will get done better. They will get done more. Like you wanted them to. Other things came along and happened in between. But those things didn't go away. And now they can come back to the surface again. Now they can come back into action and actually be developed more. They're not gone. You have to know how to recognize that, and when and how to make the best of it. You want to live a life well worth lived, well lived, then when you come around to this part, this aspect of what could be called your second childhood, well, take advantage of it. Bring it to bear. It doesn't matter what it's called. It's a good thing. So, whether or not you like this video, give it a thumb up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Activate the notification bell feature to be apprised of our new uploads if you haven't. And please, again, make note of the donation by PayPal information in the video description area and donate. I'm Dirk Strongman, current resident at Mind Voltage Institute.